Hi. Why is no one talking about 1930s shoes? Like, throughout human history, there has been a lot of different shoe trends and shoe shapes and sizes and designs, but like, can we just stop ignoring 1930s shoes for a second? So this may be a very personal opinion, but 1930s shoes hit just right. They were just there. They were doing the thing they were supposed to do. Not only were they sexy and looking cute, but also they were made to make your feet look nice, which is something that I struggle with, that shoes nowadays are not supposed to look pretty. And, you know, it would be nice to have shoes that actually make your feet look pretty, even when they're not. So 1930s shoes were kind of designed to make your feet look pretty and to make your feet look smaller, which is, again, a very big plus for me. And they had the most delicious curves. I don't know what it is about the shoes from that time, but, like, they did it right. The heel is chef's kiss. The curve, I don't even know how to explain it. I am not familiar with parts of shoes and names for the parts, but something about those round toes and curvy heel, the right height, it just speaks to me on so many different levels that today I'm going to encourage you to do your own research and have a look at some 1930s shoes, because damn, that shit was good. So to do that, I have a secret board called 30 shoes on my own Pinterest, and I'm gonna look through those pictures because I don't have the time to analyze the source of every image, and on Pinterest it's kind of like it just says it on right next to the picture or somewhere, so I'm just gonna use that. Some of the pictures are from Etsy, I believe some of those shoes were sold on Etsy. And for this video, I'm going to analyze shoes from like late 20s to early 40s because the overall like shape was more or less the same, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly when the 30s started, so some of these may be like early 40s or late 20s. So let's start off with pumps. 1930s pumps are out of this world. There's just something about the shape that makes me want to cry. Let's have a look at these, for example. Not only are they stripy and looking cool as hell, but also like this shape. Have you ever seen a heel like that? Look at that space between the heel and the whatever it's called that the front part of the shoe is. It's just right. It's right where it's supposed to be, and it's all curvy, and you can tell someone has spent a lot of time to make it this curvy, and I do appreciate that. And obviously with modern techniques it's harder to achieve like particular shapes of shoes because people's feet are not used to this. I assume this was not the most comfy shoe out there, but just like look at the way it looked. Here's another example. It's a photo from Etsy, and I mean, oh my god, why does it make your feet look so good? Have a look at the curve at the ankle and at the heel. It's just right. And then the perforated leather, like, who does that anymore? No one cares about decorating a shoe. Now here's an example of an earlier shoe from earlier 30s, which doesn't speak to me on a similar level as the other pumps, but it's still drool worthy. And even the idea of like those, is it see-through or am I hallucinating? Oh my god, I think it's see-through, which makes it so much better. I'm simping for these shoes so hard. Okay, look at these. Now, weirdly, they are actually from mid-40s, but like they do remind me of a rhino for some reason, but I also completely don't mind. Like, I would trade my own shoes for rhino shoes anytime. Here we have some more pumps that have been sold on Etsy. Like, they just look good. I don't know what to tell you. How come we don't make shoes like these anymore? We do make extremely uncomfortable heels, but we haven't thought of bringing these back. Like, where's the logic in that? Why not continue perfection? And this is delicious. I have a feeling it's someone's private picture that somehow made it on Pinterest, but also, I mean, it's for greater glory, so I hope someone doesn't sue me. These, oh my god, these have been on sale. Someone bought this because this item is unavailable, as it says. Just the cute little bows want me to throw all of my shoes I have away, because what's the point of wearing shoes if they don't look like this? Red leather shoes. I feel like every person should own red leather shoes at some point of their life, but that would probably be really bad for animals, so. Okay, these are apparently Schiaparelli shoes. And again, stripes, round toes, perfect heel, curvy space between the heel and the front of the shoe, which I don't know what's called. Look at the amount of detail that they put into a single pair of shoe wear. Like, you have a simple pair of pumps, they're not even that fancy, and yet not only do they have this cute little bow, but also they have what looks like soutache. Like, someone not only designed this, but also someone else had to sew this on the shoe. Even if it was done like mechanically at a factory, someone had to like do that on the machine. Like, who has the time for that now? No one cares. And then you have these, because who wouldn't want black pumps with gold elements and gold heels? Oh my god. And it has ruffles. It has a gathered ruffle. And look at these. I mean, I don't even know what to say. The cut-out leather is just so clever. It looks so cool. And you also have like two types of leather, one of which is like patent leather, I think, and the other is suede. Like, just imagine how this would look on your feet, because I have a feeling it would make my feet look like 4 sizes smaller just because of the design. These look 1940s to me. Again, we have the rhino shape here. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm kind of digging it. And also notice how all of the heels are kind of leaned towards the front of the shoe. They're not outwards, they're not straight, they're tilted towards the front of the shoe. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, but may I interest you in some brown perfection? Because that's what it is. I don't know what else to call it. The heel is perfectly tilted, so it makes your feet look smaller by an optical illusion. The front is round, and you have those wings of brown leathery goodliness that are at the front of the shoe for absolutely no reason apart from decorative values. Speaking of wings, how about some golden miracle on your feet? How about that? Why does no one make shoes like that anymore? I don't understand. Just have a look at all these beautiful shoes. This one is late 20s, I think, or like early, yeah, this would be early 30s. Look at how cool is that? Have you ever thought of having a yellow and black shoe that kind of looks like Halloween, kind of looks like Batman? Did someone seriously see this shoe and was like, yeah, we're gonna have to stop making these? I don't understand. Still not convinced? Well, have a look at that. Have a look at that shoe. It speaks to me on levels I didn't know existed, and I feel like I need this pair in every single color that has ever been discovered. Oh look, we have wings again, and this time it's also featuring a really fancy cutout. Insanely beautiful perforated leather. Because why not? Why not do this if we can? Now, if you're like, ooh, these shoes are too conservative for me, they're not really doing the thing, well, have a look at that. If that's not doing anything to you, I don't know what to tell you. Because to me, that's like premium shoemaking right there. And I know some of these are a bit controversial, like the inverted heel idea. I'm not really buying it, but like, can we appreciate the design here? And here are some fall styles from 1938, just in case you were looking for something cool to wear this autumn/fall, wherever you're from. Who wouldn't want to wear that? How about this piece here? It's probably gold. How about another pair of beautiful leather shoes? I don't even know how to comment it anymore. Just have a look, admire, because you're not gonna see these in a shop anytime soon. Some more bows here. Like, just have a look at how they look on feet. They're just so flattering. They make your arc look way higher than it actually is. The whole shape and the curve is designed to make your feet look appealing. How about some pastel shades? Because shoes don't have to be black and white all the time. Now, you may be thinking that, oh, these are all so fancy and they're all high-heeled, so I would die in 1930s. Well, fear not, because I have a solution for you. First of all, sports shoe wear was doing pretty well in 1930s because women were really active back then, so have a look at that. I wouldn't mind exercising in this instead of ugly-ass sneakers. I'm fine. Why do I need my feet covered anyway? You can also have some boots, low-heeled boots. As you can see, they were popular throughout almost most of the decades, like they look pretty much the same. Here's some other boots that you can wear for autumn or winter, looking pretty cool. And in case you're like super cold, you can wear overshoes. So you have your high-heeled shoes and then you get either rubbery or like leather overshoes that are supposed to protect your shoes and keep you warm, which is honestly such a brilliant idea. Like, you can still be fancy, but also warm. See, some of them are like looking super cozy. I have a pair of 1940s rubber galoshes, and to be honest, they do keep your feet warm. Here are some other shoes that are pretty low-key, like the heel is way smaller and they don't look that fancy. They do, but like less fancy than the other ones that are pretty like elegant. These are pretty casual, like you could just wear them. Oh my god, I just noticed the ones on the left, like these. Ah, they're so pretty. So another example of low-heeled shoes, which I'm pretty sure look even more high-heeled on the picture than they actually were. Also, there were a lot of low-heeled shoes meant for teenagers and kids. How about these for summer? I'm pretty sure they were made of linen and cotton and breathable fabrics that would not make your feet die in heat. Here are some other sporty type shoes, and just ignore the prices because, as we all know, the inflation was completely different in the 1930s, so that's not really an accurate price in modern money, but just the idea of sportswear and sports shoes that actually look nice and elegant is something that I don't understand why we're not pursuing. Like, why does sportswear have to look crap? Like, why does it have to be so different from what we wear on a daily basis? Like, I know we do wear like yoga pants and hoodies and stuff like that, but like, why does ski wear have to be completely different from what is fashionable? I don't get it. Some more sports shoes, and they look so cool. Like, they're just so pretty. Some of them actually look like Vans. Have you noticed these? They look 100% like Vans. So anyway, interrupting the sportswear just to show you these shoes that I think are like sandals, and they're so pretty and so cool. It's just so cute. It's a cute look. Now you may say that like, oh, you can find shoes like these nowadays. You know, there are the shoes that you use for competitive dancing, and then there are like character shoes in theater, and there's a lot of brands that make shoes like that. But to be completely honest, this is what you get most of the time. This is what you want, right? And this is what you get. Like, I'm not trying to throw shade on the producers of modern shoes, but like, this just ain't it. This is not what we want. This is what we want, and this is what we get, right? And I understand that like modern shoe production is completely different, etc., etc. However, there are some fashion brands, reproduction vintage brands, that do deal with this quite well, and they do produce shoes that do look like 1930s. And from the top of my head, I'd say Royal Vintage, that has recently merged into American Duchess, and Memory Shoes, and Remix Vintage Shoes, and then you get Rocket Originals, and all of these are pretty successful at copying retro designs without modernizing them, so it's definitely possible, and you can achieve that without making your shoes look like this, because this is an abomination. Like, no shoes should ever look like that. I'm sorry. It's just the proportions are all off. And that's another thing that 1930s shoes I feel had, is that they were designed with a particular silhouette in mind. Like, you knew what 1930s silhouette was. Everyone wore similar shapes, let's say. Like, the skirts were mid-calf and covering their knees. They weren't super wide, and the waist was a little bit raised, and the bust was quite loose. So I'm assuming when designing the shoes, you had this silhouette in mind, and you were trying to make it match that silhouette, and you wanted it to look good, and you wanted it to look pretty, which is not so obvious nowadays, as we can tell by looking at these. So I'd say, you know, we don't have that much choices. If you're trying to find cheap retro looking shoes, you're probably gonna end up with this anyway. But I'm just saying, don't lower your expectations just because this is what people serve you. Like, this is not what we want, guys. It's not that hard. to redesign these. Like, we want shoes that look pretty. I'm not saying all of us. Obviously, some people like experimenting and some people love modern shoe wear. But like, if you're trying to make it retro, at least make it look nice. That's what I'm saying. And that's all I have to say. And go spread the word about 1930s shoes, just so people know that these gorgeous miracles of shoe wear existed.